rather be single and be at peace than say I got a man and be going through it. You can go out on a date. We can put you on a set. Hey bosses, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Candace Renee. Before we get started to this video, do y'all like my new setup? So I'm in my same office, like this wall looks familiar. All I did was just kind of change where I'm at. So I'm actually sitting at my computer desk instead of usually sitting there. I usually sit there in that chair right there, but instead I am sitting at my desk. I bought this little podcast boom mic and it's attached to my desk, and yeah, I feel like this setup is so much easier to work with. It's just so much cleaner looking, and it's just like y'all can really like see more. So I like this setup. Let me know if y'all like this setup. I mean, if y'all don't like it, then oh well, y'all gonna have to deal with it. But if y'all like this setup, comment below. A topic for y'all. So this video was inspired by one of my TikToks. So I made a TikTok where I talked about being a former boy crazy girl and how I kind of realized that I centered my life around men and how my friends would tell me it and I used to get mad at them. And then it's like I kind of grew up and my frontal lobe developed, and then I realized I was centering my life around men. So one of the girls actually DM'd me and I got a comment and somebody was like, well, can you make more videos about this? Can you like go in depth in this topic? So I was like, well, found my YouTube topic right there. So I felt like this was a good video because a lot of girls probably don't realize that they're boy crazy, or they have a friend that's boy crazy and they just kind of don't really realize what they're doing and how it is affecting their life. And that was kind of me. I didn't really realize it. And when my frontal lobe developed, I realized like, girl, you care about men a little bit too much. What being boy crazy means is that you center your life around men. You gotta always have a boyfriend. You gotta always have a roster. You have problems being by yourself. You feel like if a man does not want you, you don't feel complete. You feel insecure. Feel like you have to always be up under a man. And a lot of times, a lot of us don't really realize that that is what we're doing, but it is what you're doing. Like if you have a friend that's always like, oh, I got a roster, blah, 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 blah. You don't always have to have a roster. And then her roster be a bunch of men that just don't even do anything for you. Like it's not a flex to say that you have a roster of dudes if the dudes are not doing anything for you, but just coming to not buying you nothing. They're not paying your bills. They're not helping you out. They just come to get their rocks off and then they leaving. That's not a roster, babes. And even if that is your roster, it's not a flex. I kind of figured I was boy crazy because I felt like if I did not have a boyfriend, I was not really worthy. I always say I'm never going to find anybody. I always felt insecure. I used to let who I was talking to dictate my mood. So if my man wasn't talking to me for a day and he was mad at me, my whole day was ruined. If my man talked to me, then I'm happy. Like I surrounded my life completely around a man. Like he controlled my emotions. He controlled the way I was moving. He controlled the way I felt about myself. He controlled my future. He controlled the way my day was going. And that's when you kind of got to realize, okay, I'm letting men control me just a little bit too much. And I'm going to tell you how I got out of that. Now, I do still feel sad and get heartbroken. In my last video, I just was telling you guys about how I got over a heartbreak. I kind of watched the story. If you didn't watch the story, I left him. Okay. I left him and I thought he was going, if I left him, he was going to get right, but he didn't. So that wasn't meant for me. But the way that I used to do things is that I used to be with a man to the point where like he would do me so wrong and so dirty, but yet I would still stay because my mindset was like, well, at least I got a man. At least I got a man. At least I can say I got a man. But you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't my mindset at the time. I used to let men run me dry to the point where like I was depressed and I would wait for them to dump me. I was never the one to break up with them. I would always wait for them to break up with me. Right. And you know, and it's just like, even if I wasn't being treated right, I'm like, well, I'll just stay and I'll just keep staying. No, you cannot just keep staying until you figure out if they're going to treat you right. So here's a couple ways that I actually got out of being boy crazy. Number one, I took time to myself. So when you are boy crazy, you've realized that you cannot be without a man. And how you realize that is that when you're single, if you feel like crap and you don't know why you feel like crap, and then once you get a man, your mood is boosted and you feel like yourself again, You're relying on men, sweetie. If you're not happy by yourself, then that automatically means that you are boy crazy. Or if you feel like your life will be so much better if you had a boyfriend, then yeah, you're boy crazy. The first thing that you need to do is you need to be alone. Now, I'm not saying break up with your boyfriend, because if your boyfriend is making you happy and you're in a healthy relationship, cool. But if you are with a man that is not doing anything for you, that is not providing for you, he's not making your life easier, you're doing more for him than if you're not happy and you feel like it's just not what it's supposed to be, then you need to leave. Okay. You need to break it off. And I know that it seems harder said than done, because it's like, well, I'm not going to have a man. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that you got to love yourself, and you're never going to be able to find that right man until you love yourself and you are happy with yourself. I know that sounds so cliche, but it is really the truth. Like, you're never going to be able to find someone if you're not happy with yourself, because you're going to be relying on that other person for your happiness. And it is not anybody else's responsibility to make sure that you are happy. Like, it's not you. What I mean by that is like, you can't depend on somebody else to make you happy, because that's too much responsibility on somebody else. You should be able to make yourself happy. You get what I'm saying? So you have to learn how to be by yourself. So if you are in a situationship that's just not going right, you need to cut it off. That's the first thing you need to do. You need to cut it off. You need to cut off your roster. You need to be by yourself and spend time by yourself. You don't need to be having ex. You don't need to be doing any of that. You need to spend time by yourself. The first thing is to isolate and to be alone. Okay? That is the first thing. And that is probably the hardest step. But the first step is admitting that you may be boy crazy and you may be insecure, and then going ahead and cutting off whatever ties you had with whatever men. Figure out what makes you happy outside of men. If you can't figure that out, then you don't need to be dating, like, at all. You need to figure out exactly what makes you happy, what makes you smile, what brightens up your day besides for that text or that call from that man. Like, what makes you happy? Is that doing your business? Is that creating content? Is that working out? What is that to you? What does that look like to you? Okay, you need to figure that out. And if somebody comes up to you and asks you what makes you happy, and the first thing that comes to your mind is a man or having a man, yeah, we need to talk. We need to sit down and we need to figure out. Now, I'm not saying that you can't want a boyfriend, because I want a relationship. We all want a relationship, but that shouldn't be your number one priority in life. And that should not be the number one thing that you are striving for, is to be in a relationship or to have a man. That should not be your number one priority. The best version of yourself. So if you feel like that you want a better body, or if you feel like you want to make more money, you need to start becoming the better version of yourself. You need to start being obsessed with loving yourself and becoming the better version of yourself, whatever that means. If you feel like you want to lose a couple of pounds, then maybe you need to cut off men and just focus on the gym and get in the gym and focus on that, and let the gym fulfill the place of a man. Or if you want to start that business, let your business fulfill the place of that man. You need to start becoming your better self, whatever your better self is. And that's what I did. I started taking things that I wanted to improve with myself, and I took that and filled it in place of a man, which is what I did too during my heartbreak. I've been going to the gym like crazy since my heartbreak, and I've been feeling so much better. I've changed my diet. I've been working on my business. I'm back in my content. If y'all haven't noticed, I've been a little bit more consistent on YouTube. It's just like I have been taking what a man was supposed to fulfill, and I started fulfilling it with things that would make me a better person, that would make me a better Candace. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I did. And another thing, if you are religious, get in that Bible. Get in that Bible. Okay? You need to love Jesus. The same way that you love that man, you need to love Jesus. Jesus will always love us no matter what we do. A man on earth, if you gain a little bit of weight, or if you don't do your hair one day, he may talk about you and be like, oh, I don't want to be with her no more. God will love you no matter how you come, your flaws, your insecurities and all. God will love you no matter what and make sure that you are always protected. So that is the man that you need to be crazy about. Instead of being boy crazy, let's be Jesus crazy. Let's be God crazy. Get in your Bible. Get in your Bible. Start attending church. I attended church in person for the first time in years last Sunday, and I really enjoyed it. And guess what the preacher was talking about? Being in your singleness. And it was funny how like I went to church and that was the word, and God said go to church, and I'm over here getting over a heartbreak, and God talked about being in your singleness. He talked to the preacher about being in your singleness. God's funny, but I needed to hear that, and I feel like a lot of other women probably needed to hear that too. Understand that if you want to be in a relationship, it will come when it is your time. You're not going to be in a relationship by chasing. Anything that you chase will run. You have to go with the flow and focus on you. A relationship will come when you least expect it. A relationship will come when you are at your best self, when you are at your highest self. That is when you will get a good relationship. And when you learn to be by yourself, that's when you're not going to be running into these horrible men. Because when you are so boy crazy, you'll go after whatever. I'm not saying whatever, but you'll go after if he look good or if he got money. Like, you gonna go after basically whatever looks good and got money, and you're gonna start picking them bad because you just want a man so bad. But when you be alone for so long and you start to love yourself, you don't put up with anything. Like, it be so easy to pick these guys out. It is ridiculous. My last little situationship that I was in, that I talked about in my last video, I left him because he didn't treat me the way that I was supposed to be treated. Now, did I give him way too many chances? I did. But if this was the old me, I would have just let him keep using me and using me and using me until he got tired of me. But I was the one that walked away because I spent so much time alone before he came into my life, and I worked on myself so deeply. I got in my business bag. I got in my fitness bag. I'm on and off with my fitness journey, by the way. But I was at my highest self. So it was so easy for me to cut him off because it's like, I've been alone for so long. I know how to love myself and walk away from things that don't serve me. When you are alone and you really love yourself and you spend time with you and God, things that do not serve you, it is so easy to walk away from them. I am trying to tell you. And like I said, it might sound easier said than done, but the best thing for you to do is to just start becoming your best self. Get in that gym, get in that Bible, get in that bag, and become your best self. And I promise you, if you do what I'm saying in this video, you will find the best man. Have I found my man yet? No. But it ain't time for me. Obviously, it's not my season. My season right now is to get in my bag and get in my gym. So that's what I'm doing. And then when God feels like I'm at my highest self, he will bring who he needs to bring with me. Like, remember that singleness is only a season. It is not forever. So if you're single right now, it's a season. This is your season to get closer to God. It's your season to get your body right. It's your season to get in that business, go back to school, go level up at that job, whatever it is that you're supposed to do in your season. That's the time for you to figure it out in your season. And then that's when you are supposed to get what you're supposed to get. So I hope that this video helped. To all my girlies, just know, don't chase these men. Chase a bag if you want to chase something. Run on that treadmill. Chase that treadmill. Chase them calories off if you want to chase something. But don't chase that man. Period. But yeah, you guys, comment down below if you like this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one.